In part 1 we met Jay Stockwell, the young Australian who runs a successful internet marketing firm on the Gold Coast of Australia. He said that while there are many factors at work, most failing businesses may actually be close to success even though they are making little or even no income. The easiest solution was to follow the pivot strategy, where small improvements in the right places can have dramatic outcomes. He explained the 3 critical steps or pivot points that make or break most online businesses. He went on to show how that we could possibly take a low profit site making just $10,920 a year to a site earning $167,900 plus per year by making 3 relatively small improvements. We encourage you to watch that video first before you watch this one. Now it gets really interesting. Beyond the already impressive 3 pivot point strategy is the profit multiplier. The profit multiplier is an income expander that amplifies the success already created by the improvements made in each of the pivot points. You may recall a study conducted by the AcuraCast group that we took a look at together in video 1. They sampled more than 1.2 million clicks and discovered that pay-per-click ads in higher positions actually receive a disproportionate increase in the number of clicks that they receive. By making small improvements, our ads could easily bump up from position 5 to position 4. In achieving this, our site will actually receive double the number of visits and double the amount of profits. The profit multiplier comes into play when an ad in position 4 finds itself in position 1, where according to AcuraCast, it receives 8 times the traffic. A logical question is, what do you need to do to get your ads in position 1? You either A, need to make your ads more relevant so they'll get a better Google quality score to move up, or B, simply raise your bid price and pay more per click. Back when we started, our example website was making just $30 a day, and so we were unable to pay more for our ads then. If we paid any more, we'd have no profit and lose money. Now, after fine-tuning the 3 pivot points, we're no longer making just $30 per 100 clicks, we're making $230 per 100 clicks. So with a greater profit margin, we are now in a position to pay more for each click. With the 3 pivot strategy performing, the revenue from our site has risen to $460 per day or $167,900 a year. Now we've increased how much we make per 100 clicks. Do you think that if we doubled how much we paid per click, we couldn't take out the number 1 spot? There are no guarantees, but it's quite possible. Here's the trick, so pay attention. Most people would believe that if they double what they pay per click, their expenses would go up and their profits down. Well, your expenses certainly do go up. However, remember the AcuraCast stats. Position 1 receives 4 times as many clicks as position 4. The end result is increased costs, but also dramatically increased profits. According to AcuraCast stats, when our ad ranks number 1, it should receive 800 clicks. In effect, paying more now nearly triples our site's profitability. Let's see. According to the AcuraCast stats, you would now receive 800 clicks a day in the position 1 spot. Each click costs you $1.40, which is $1,120 a day. You convert 2% of your visitors after applying pivot 2. Each customer now spends on average $150 after applying pivot 3. Instead of making 4 sales, you now make 16. 16 times 150 equals 2,400 in revenue. 2,400 minus 1,120, your profits would now be $1,280 a day. So this $1,280 a day earns you $8,960 a week, or an annual income of $467,200. Think about this. You haven't found any new keywords. You haven't found any more traffic sources. You've simply applied 3 fairly simple pivot improvements and then applied the profit multiplier. Here's another amazing thing to consider. Because you're able to pay more for keywords, you can afford to bid on keywords that would have lost you money before. So less targeted keywords, but words with higher search volume. You could expand your keywords even further, perhaps taking the multiplier many times higher. Their example turns our website from a little hobby into something that earns more in a month than most people earn in a year. On this sort of income, almost $500,000 a year, you could buy a new home or an investment property or portfolio. You could travel the world, help others, or you may even simply choose to retire. Wouldn't that be nice?